Welcome, y'all. This is the new world headquarters of ricklucas.net and Lucas Enterprises. A little bit of an echo, sorry about that. We're not much on decorations yet. We had to kind of ad-lib a little bit there, so don't hold that against me. I hope the sound's not too bad. We got some work to do, I'm sure. But I am here in San Antonio. I'm going on another beer adventure. Awesome place. Oh, wait 1 second. Our sponsor, San Antonio SEO Strategies. Internet marketing. There'll be a website thing, link somewhere. It definitely in the description, okay? I don't know why it's green. I didn't order it that way. They're green with envy, is what I think. I got some more on the way. Anyway, internet marketing, website design, website hosting, search engine optimization. We can do the hosting for you. If you want us to do the website design, we do it for really inexpensive if we get the hosting. So give us a call, free website consultations. So back to the show. Anyway, we're going to an awesome place. I've been there before. I've been trying to lock down, kind of get with the guy, Chris, Dave Holland. He is a Special Forces Green Beret, spent 30 years in the military. So this is veteran owned and operated. And they do a lot for the veteran community. It's Longtab, can you see that? Yeah, Longtab Brewing in San Antonio. They've got some awesome beers, some pretty good food too. So they've even got a couple selections of wines. But watch the video so you can find out how you can support this veteran owned organization. And just find out more about what these guys got going on. It's a great place. It's beautiful. San Antonio, Texas. So it's going to be so much fun. So I know you're jealous, but stay tuned and you can participate. We're in the new world headquarters. We are here at Longtab Brewing with Dave Holland. He is the owner, proprietor, veteran, former Special Forces. He did over 30 years, so he's a bit of a nut, I think. I don't know for sure, but we'll probably find out here in a second. We are having a fine Schwarz beer. Fantastic. They got a whole line of fantastic beers, and the whole theme of the place is veteran owned. I appreciate you having us on, putting up with me today, Dave.
Sure.
I'm just a big nobody trying to be a somebody these days, and it's hard to do that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I know that what kind of got you guys started into this? I know I read something about you met Mike at a Veterans Special Forces Association, I think. Is that part of the story?
Yeah, it is. But what got me into, I've always liked beer. I've always been kind of a beer nut, traveling in, all over Europe and, all over the world, really, stopping in places and having beer. But back in 2000, 2013 or so, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. And so she bought me a beer kit.
Nice.
So started brewing beer. So basically what started out as kind of a one-time thing turned into a hobby, and then that hobby turned into a business. So
those are some of the best kinds of hobbies.
It's not that uncommon to see other breweries get their start in the same way, minus the cancer part.
Mm-hmm. How is your wife now, by the way? Is she okay?
Oh, she's great.
Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
She's kicked ass. So.
I almost hesitated to ask. I thought it was going to be the other side. We turned dark here.
She's
darker than this beer. We don't want that to happen.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah, she's doing great. And she's kind of my sounding board for a lot of the things that we do, like business related. So she's co-owner with me, and I'm glad she's still around to help me. She got through all that stuff. It's kicking ass. So yeah, she's doing great.
By the way, let's see, you're veteran owned, you do a lot of things for the veteran community, and especially, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Special Forces. So can you tell me how, if somebody wanted to help support you to do these things, how could they do that?
Come buy beer.
Come buy beer. That's the best way to go.
Come walk through that door and order some food and buy beer. Yeah,
Right.
This place is, it's where we make all of our money. It's and it's where we raise all of the money that we, generate for charity. We always do kind of the thing that we do is we do dedication beers for fallen Green Berets, or other notable people under the Special Operations umbrella. Like this weekend, we're releasing one for Shannon Kent, who's her husband was a Green Beret, but and I went through one officer school with him, and but his wife was a Navy cryptologist attached to JSOC, and she was killed in an IED in Syria, along with another Green Beret and another SEAL. Yeah. So we're releasing
Shannon Kent.
Shannon Kent, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So now, that is obviously the main way they can help support you. But don't you have, like, you sell coffee? And so if you're in Louisville, Kentucky, or wherever, you can go to their website and check out their coffee, and you'll ship it worldwide.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So that's another way you can help support veterans.
Yep.
Okay.
Swag, we probably sell more swag than any other brewery in Texas. We sell a lot of hats. We sell a lot of T-shirts. We've got a lot of loyal followers. And so, yeah, we sell a lot of swag. I spend a lot of money on swag. So, yeah.
Well, I've got a shirt on, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Always got to have cool swag.
Yeah, you got to have some of that.
Yep.
Okay.
Veterans love swag. So
absolutely.
That was an easy win.
So I kind of cut you off a little bit. You met Mike, your wife, she's doing better now, and that kind of turned the hobby into a business.
Yep.
For people that don't understand, what does Longtab even mean? What is that? What's the description there?
So when you graduate Special Forces school, you are awarded the Special Forces tab. So it's a long tab or a long patch that you wear on your uniform. It's the longest special skills tab that you can get in the Army.
Typically over U.S. Army, and it's longer than the U.S. Army. Is that correct?
Well, it's longer than Airborne, longer than Ranger, longer than Sapper. So those are kind of the main ones. Ranger and Sapper being the special skills tab. Airborne being a unit tab. But yeah, it's the longest one out of all of them. So
nice.
So yeah, so instead of being Special Forces Brewing or Green Beret Brewing, I wanted something a little bit more
not so much on the nose, I guess.
Yeah.
On the nose, but
yeah. What does it mean? It could be a long tab of beer.
right. It could be the tab where I haven't paid in a long time. Let's hope that doesn't.
Or it could be the Special Forces long tab. But,
okay. Yeah. And something I did not know is that Green Berets that's actually, a lot of people say Green Berets, but that's specific to the U.S. Army. Not you have to be in the U.S. Army to be a Green Beret.
Well, yes, but also the thing that people misuse a lot is the term Special Forces.
Oh, okay.
Special Forces is a specific unit in the Army.
Okay.
A lot of people call like SEAL Special Forces or Ranger Special Forces or some other, the Air Force unit.
Recon, the Marines, or whatever.
Yeah, they call them, but those are technically Special Operations Forces, right? So it's
SOF.
under a bigger umbrella. But Special Forces, those who term together, is a specific unit in the Army.
Okay, I did not know that. And
Special Forces wear Green Berets.
Yeah, I did not know that. Of course, I was just a dumb tanker, so what would I know? Just a dad.
I've known some tankers. No comment.
So you know
just
what
kidding. Just kidding.
I can take it, I think. So we kind of got the
you
long.
have some cool boots, though.
Thank you. Yes, this is true. This is true. I see that you guys kind of.
My dad was a tanker for a little bit, so I remember seeing his boots.
And we had berets. I was in 100 years ago. At one point we actually had berets, and I think they kind of took them away right as I got out of basic training. So I never got to wear a beret. That was a little bit of a letdown. I thought the ladies would like that. And then I found out it was just my face that kept the ladies around. It wasn't,
Berets in Texas in the summer are
torture.
Yeah.
So I didn't miss anything.
Probably wouldn't miss them.
Yeah, and there's probably black. Yeah, you're probably right. So you guys, you lean towards Belgian ales and German ales. But is that just your preference, or is it what you're good at?
It's what we like
Both.
to drink. So, that started out as kind of an experiment. Mike and I were having a business meeting at one of the local places around town, business meeting.
Right.
And we had done a couple of Belgian beers, which, we loved. My travels in Europe, I love Belgian beers. Mike's travels in Europe, he loves Belgian beers too. So, and nobody was really focusing on it. This was when it was kind of the height of the IPA craze. Everybody was doing all kinds of weird stuff with IPAs. And so we decided to go lean in the other way. So we're like, nobody's doing Belgians.
Right,
so
okay.
let's do it. So
that makes sense.
we did this little experiment where we filled the entire tap wall with Belgians. We just did it once. And that little experiment solidified us as the place to go in San Antonio for Belgians. Even though a lot of times that may not even be the majority of beers that we have on tap. But somehow we
You're known for that.
Yeah, well,
right?
Yeah, that's cool.
There's nothing wrong with that. No. There's a place in Louisville. It's the Atrium, one of my favorites, and they're kind of known for sours. And they'll have 15 beers on tap, and only 3 are sours.
Yeah.
But if you go there, you almost have to have at least one.
Yeah.
Give me the lemon parfait. I haven't tried that one today.
Yeah.
So I guess you're in that same kind of scenario, I suppose. I noticed something on your glasses. It's not on this one. And I noticed you have some unique glasses too. Yeah. I want to ask you about that. But I think it's Oppresso Liber. I'm assuming that's Latin.
Oppresso Liber.
Yeah, Liber. What does that mean?
So that is the Latin motto on the Special Forces crest. It means liberate the oppressed.
Okay.
It's kind of the role of Green Berets, or sort of like diplomats with guns.
Diplomats with guns?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's the Special Forces crest right there. So you see it's the Oppresso Liber. We have a beer called DOL that we won an award for. Pretty proud of that.
I noticed you have quite a special Green Berets theme, right?
That's what this whole place is designed for.
Everything's about. Well, I love the veteran feel and the vibe. I love places like that. I feel like I fit in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in no way or shape or form special forces, but I'm special education.
I'm not anymore.
Right, special education is how I got into being a tanker. I don't know if that maybe I'm special in some ways, But a couple things I noticed. I know you mentioned it a little bit this earlier about Shannon Tate.
Yep.
Right.
No. Shannon Kent.
Shannon Kent. Okay, I was thinking of the actress that was killed. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah, exactly. Oops.
Different one.
Yeah, Sharon Kent. Okay.
Shannon Kent.
Shannon Kent. Right. So I've noticed some other names. Is that unique, or have you done that a lot with some of the names of your beers? So I've noticed some other names for beers that it's a person's name.
Well, I think she's either 15 or 16. I have to go count. Where we've done beers for, fallen Green Berets and other significant figures in Special Forces history, or Special Operations history. And we always, every time we do a beer like that, we always work with the family on coming up, did they have a call sign, did they have a nickname, something like that.
Oh, nice.
It's a little more fun than just saying,
Mike White.
Name.
Yeah.
So those are...
It'd be much better if it was Dragonfly, Red 2 or something like that, right?
We did one for Roy Benavides. It was called Tango Mike Mike.
Oh, nice.
Which was short for that mean Mexican.
Tango Mike Mike.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. But all those names that come with, we work directly with the families on these beers.
Make sure they're comfortable with it.
And they always are. And so, they generally have, a say in the name or the picture, the style of beer, things like that. So so by the time we release it, they're 100%
everybody's
on board.
down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Right. That's pretty special. It's pretty special. I noticed that I kind of mentioned this. You guys do some other things here. I know we do the coffee, ships worldwide.
Yep.
You also offer food. I think last time I was here, you had a bacon grilled cheese or something. It was fantastic.
Yep.
Would you call yourself a gastropub, or do you just have some? How would you describe it? I guess.
Well, I mean, in a lot of respects, there's a lot of tap rooms that just have beer, or they'll have a food truck or something like that. And they say once you decide to go have food, that you're more like a restaurant that brews their own beer. In a lot of respects, that's true, because learning how to manage a kitchen is a pretty daunting task. But I think we've got things pretty well under control. And I have a fantastic chef. I mean, he's very talented, and every time we do a special event, he comes up with ideas and just knocks it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we're pretty lucky to have.
Well, that's a different challenge. I can see starting. I don't say this like it's easy, but I could see someone starting a brewery and then maybe adding food later. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see that as okay. That's a different challenge. Did you jump into both, or did you just went, we're going to start serving beers and we'll add, I don't know, we'll have hot dogs outside on the grill and then add food later?
Well, when we first started the kitchen, the stuff that we offered was pretty basic. We were doing heat and serve pizzas and paninis and things like that, and then in the middle of COVID, I actually ended up firing my first chef. Long story. But I had this guy walk in who was he was a legitimate chef looking for work.
Oh man, beautiful!
And he just walked in. I said, "Yeah, I need somebody." Mm-hmm. And so he got to work, and then I gave him a little bit of, gave him a budget, a little bit of free reign, and he started adding more and more to the menu. And there's a lot of stuff that's on the menu that still exists to this day from him. And then he ended up leaving, but a person that he had hired to sort of be his
replacement,
sous chef, apprentice, whatever, is still here. Almost 4.5 years later. So we've been very fortunate to have some talented people in the kitchen. But so we sort of got into it by accident. So it wasn't in my business plan to have this much of a food presence. But now with today's market, I think it's almost a necessity. Like I think the days of just serving beer only, like plywood tap room with some cornhole ain't gonna do it anymore. You've got to have something extra. And
well, it brings in a more varied crowd. I would think, because if you've just got the guy or gal, whoever that just likes beer, their significant other or family member isn't into beer, what's going to draw them in and want to stay more than 3 minutes? I mean, it could be the food.
Yeah, we've added, we've expanded our wines. We've got some pretty high-end wines now. We've got non-alcoholics, we've got sodas, tea, beer, in addition always having coffee. So, you're right. I mean, we've expanded that area of the business quite a bit from when we first started. But, in the food stuff too, our food menu's gotten pretty refined too. I mean, we have, vegan and vegetarian options. We're getting more keen on, common allergies and getting smart on how to manage those kind of expectations. So it's if you want to attract that sort of, diverse crowd, you got to be able to appeal to everybody in some sense. And so yeah, we're still growing as a business because, in that way, but it's everybody's, our sales are up, so I think people are responding.
Right.
We've done a lot of renovations. We've renovated our bathrooms. We've got rid of plastic forks, and now we have better silverware. We've even, we have a better napkin, which everybody strangely talks about. And, things like that make us seem more like a restaurant, like
right.
a refined, not an upscale restaurant, but sort of,
like kind of in between. Got some better food than your basic bar
Above
food.
casual.
Yeah.
maybe.
It's not going to be somebody dropping some chicken wings or cheese curls or cheese sticks into a deep fryer and beep, and then they flop them on a plate. I mean, a little more than that.
The only time we ever do any deep fried stuff is when we do a schnitzel event, when we have something to roll outside and cook schnitzel. We only do that a few times a year.
Right. Awesome. Well, let me ask you this. I've noticed, read a couple things. I mean, I'm not obviously in tune with the beer scene as you are. Have you any feeling that maybe like this kind of craft beer boom, if you want to call it that, is over? I've heard of a couple places thinking about closing, a couple struggling. Freetail, I talked to Dustin at Cactus Land.
Yep.
Chris over at Breakaway. Like I interviewed Chris. He talked very highly of you guys. He was very
great folks.
Yeah, great people.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's just a little low, a little break in the action, or?
I think everyone that has closed down, because I knew all those folks, they all have their own unique story. I think.
And great beers, like you go there, they got got a couple of great beers.
Yeah.
Not always my taste, but there's always something there that's good.
It's hard to put your finger on one thing. I think last year, the market in general did slow down quite a bit. And so I think, if you were somebody who was too deeply invested in distribution, if that was where the majority of your funds came from, and then people stopped buying, then that's a problem, And I think maybe some folks weren't, they were sort of caught off guard at how fast it started to decline, and they didn't have a reaction time. Or maybe they just thought they could hold out and hope for the market to return. And for me, I think it was like early last year, I said, I'm getting out of the distribution game, because I had a sales manager,
How long will that go?
30 seconds.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna do a little singing, a little song and dance. Anyway, it's a generator. It's here for good. They're making beer. We gotta let them make some noise. So, but anyway, you think it's just if you were in the distribution, it was really hurt.
Well, we started distribution about 2 years ago, about halfway through the year, and I bought a van, had a sales manager, and first year I didn't expect much. The second year it grew quite a bit. We had around 50-something accounts around San Antonio, and it was growing big enough to where it was starting to tap into what we could have available here. And so
if you're gonna have a problem.
So yeah, it was a good problem. But then all of a sudden, at the beginning of last year, about April, May, I just saw it. I saw the early warning signs that it was just starting to come down. And so
maybe that's got to do with inflation. Like people can't, I can't pay $12.99 or whatever for a six-pack anymore.
Yeah.
We've got to get eggs for the family. I can get a six-pack of, the natural light, or what I'm assuming. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of guessing.
I don't know. I think it was a little bit of everything. It was gas, groceries, whatever. But whatever the case was, whatever the reasoning is, there was a significant decline in folks buying beer from a distribution standpoint. So I just cut it off. I just said no more.
I'm out.
So
poor sales manager.
Yeah, poor sales manager. He ended up going to do something else. And then I sold the van, and then I went around to all our kegs around town, and we stopped, and it was probably the number one thing that I think
kept
us doing well throughout last year. So we had a few months here that were pretty sketchy, but we ended the year pretty strong, and so far this year's been pretty strong.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I think a lot of it goes back to if your business model relied heavily on that, then I think that, you're faced with some pretty tough decisions.
Well, I think it's another example of being diversified. Rely too heavy on just the taps to pay the bills, or just the food to pay the bills, or just the distribution to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You take that hit. You're taking that hit. I mean, it threatens the whole business.
The taps pay the bills.
Taps pay the bills. Yeah.
Bar none. I mean, the food helps. There's decent margins in food, not as much as you would think, but there's really good margins in beer as long as it's sold here.
Right. For as long as it's sold right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The tap. Right. That's because we just expanded. We had 12 taps. I bought an 18 tap tower, so now we just went from 12 to 18.
Wow.
So I think, just like, every time they send out market analysis on what the industry is doing, I'm going the other way. Mm-hmm. Because I think a lot of people are going, oh, this is what I need to do. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go that way.
Right.
So
it's kind of like the stock market. What was it? Rodney Dangerfield and that. Everybody's selling, buy. Yeah, do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Yeah, he's on the phone talking to his trader or whatever. He's going sell. Everybody's buying. Oh, sell. Yeah. Buy or whatever it was. Yeah. So, kind of on a tangent. Are you a big fan of Judas Priest?
Yeah.
I mean, the drummer's name was Dave Holland. I don't know if is that your Uncle Dave or your?
No, but I know him. I know that name very well. When I was a kid and that album came out, I believe it was British Steel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was his first album where he was a drummer. I was pretty excited.
being Dave Holland.
I think they put him in prison though. I think.
He ended up with some other troubles.
Yeah.
I think he died when he was 69 or 68.
No, I'm a big fan of Judas Priest.
Yeah,
Took my daughter to go see him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've seen him a couple times. All right. I knew there'd be some kind of connection there somehow. Yeah. I didn't really think it'd be your British Dave Holland to be your uncle. No. But I guess it's a stretch. I mean, that'd have been a great story if you'd have went, well, yeah, he's my third or my great or whatever. That'd have been. I'm named after him. I mean, that's what I was hoping for. Yeah.
The other Dave Holland I found is a bassist and a composer. Yeah. Famous for his field.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You got musical background in your.
Yeah.
Is it just the name? Is it karma? So your art is making beer, right? Their art is music. Your art is making beer. It's all about creative. Dave Holland's a creative name, I guess. Okay. We talked about the past, how you got started. Do you want anything you want to add about that we should know about? How the place kind of got going?
Well, one of the things people ask me about a lot is, when we opened. So, we opened in 2020, 66 days before we got told to shut down.
Oh, wow.
Which was not part of the business plan. So we spent the next several months, just canning beer on site, doing pick up beer to go, just enough to pay rent and pay a few employees to hang on. And
that could have been the end of you. Almost was.
It was the end of quite a few folks, but yeah, we did enough.
So I'm assuming that was COVID.
Yeah, 2020. And but we're still here. We just celebrated 5 years.
Nice.
And so we're still breaking records every month. So I can't complain. So
that's also the present. You're breaking records every month.
December was a new record. January was a new record. February was a new record.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Yeah. So what do you see about? I always ask this, and I know it's kind of hard to. I mean, who knows where we're going? But what do you see in the future? Do you have any growing this location, going into spiced rums, whatever? I don't know. But kind of, do you have any future plans that may be taking you somewhere?
We've talked a lot about opening up another location. Not really necessarily a brew pub, but like a tap room. Mm-hmm. We serve kind of our brand of food, and then we serve our beers on tap. So at one point we were really close to opening up a second location. Like we had it picked out. I was reviewing the lease. Everything was getting ready to sign, and then long story short, the whole deal fell through at the very end. But through that process, there was a lot of, because I wanted it to be a little bit more upscale than what we had here, being a warehouse in Leon Valley.
Right.
And so, but that was a good exercise because a lot of those refinements and everything that we did for that place, we've since rolled into this one.
Okay, nice.
So, it's not all experience is bad experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, you walk in, I mean, it's a little misleading because the first time I came here, I don't know, last year,
Yeah.
I drove right past the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Google Maps telling me where to go, and I drove right past it.
Yeah.
And had to come, go around the block and then seen Longtab, because you come from this direction. That's just a warehouse. He's not going to be in a warehouse. Come on, it's got to be on the corner of something, But you come in, and obviously it is what it is because we've got, the brewery right there and everything that goes along with it. So.
It didn't start out this way. These walls are pretty bare, and then we've just been given things and stuff has been added over time that it's like we're out of wall space. So.
Can I bring a picture of myself in and I sign it and then just put it on the wall? If anybody asks, you just some drunk. Are you?
Maybe we should have a special area just for that.
Just for that, right? Yeah. Just he's a nobody. We have a nobody wall. The somebodies, Rodney Dangerfield, his is up there in the front. We put the nobodies back around the corner, right?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, anything you want to add? Anything about the place I haven't touched on, or you feel like is important, or I don't know, that time Mike fell into a vat and you had to save him, he almost drowned. I mean, that would be hilarious. I'd love to get that on tape, or something like that. Anything you'd like to add?
Not if it was hot or boiling. That would be cool.
Come out looking like the Joker.
We have a pretty robust website. We've got a pretty robust social media presence.
LongtabBrewing.com.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We also have an app too that if you want to know, if you want to get a heads up on when beers are coming out, we always send notifications out to our subscribers and Mud Club members. They always get a couple of days notice of any new beers coming out. We're also we're on DoorDash or do delivery. We're on Open Table if you want to reserve a table. I mean we're pretty much got it all.
No, I mean, I love the place. I came over here, and I think it's at some point. I guess it was when you had a sales manager or something. I'd bumped into somebody at the Bruceology at the Whitty. They gave me Nick's card.
Yeah.
So, I was calling here trying to get a hold of Nick, and he no longer worked here.
Yeah, he was our sales guy.
Right, the poor sales manager. So I'm calling asking for Nick, and they're going, there is no Nick. And that one time came over here, you were sitting over in the corner, and I walked over and said, hey, could you talk to Nick for me? And you were the guy to talk to. Yeah, I'll talk to him, whatever, man. So it was some bad target acquisition on my part there. I kind of missed you. Even though I was talking to the person that could make the decision, I kind of messed that up. Yeah, but so I appreciate your patience.
No worries.
Man, you've got a great place. You've got some great beers, Dave. I could probably sit here and talk to you all day. I'd run out of battery, and you'd get bored and want to kick me out. I'm sure you got work to do. So, but thanks for having me, and congratulations, and everybody visit. Oh, by the way, don't forget, be sure to like and subscribe and support Longtab Brewing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, just got back from San Antonio. Had a great time at Longtab Brewing. Big fun. Those guys are obviously busy. They're kind of a small operation, so they're kind of small group of guys trying to do everything. I didn't get to stay as long as I wanted to, but we talked a lot about how they're supporting the veterans community and the special forces community. Something you need to know is, how do you support them? Pretty simple. If you're in the San Antonio area, go over there and have a beer. Have some wine. They have food. They've got something for almost anyone, all right? You can visit their website if you're not in San Antonio. They offer premium coffee and it ships worldwide. I haven't tried the coffee yet, but I have some ordered. Be sure to, if you've tried some, leave me a comment. Let me know how it is. Let's try it. They've got a lot of great merch you can order online. T-shirts, hats, ball caps. Here's one right here. I've got a T-shirt myself. All right, it's one of my favorites. I'll have to adjust that one a little bit. But and last but not least, subscribe to their newsletter. Keep abreast of the events. Follow them on social media, and share with your friends. Like and subscribe. Now, if you're into good beer, be sure to subscribe to this channel and support our sponsor, San Antonio SEO Strategies. There'll be a thing around here somewhere where you can find the website. There'll be links for everything below. Thanks for playing.